Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Natavara Radha Natavara Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So before we start speaking, I humbly seek the blessings of Mother Kamagiri and all the senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here. So we together share the importance of deity worship. It's not just my own realizations, it's many of the devotees already has deities at home. It is just that I have been given this service, so don't think that I'm so special sitting on this chair talking about deity worship. Many of the grahasthas has deities at home, so everybody has an idea, but just have been given this service, so I'm just doing it. So I have one weakness in my spiritual life, which I'm going to admit before I start speaking. My weakness is I cannot speak anything other than what I heard from my Guru Maharaj. So none of these things I'm sharing are my own realizations. I will specifically mention if I'm saying something about my own experiences in my life, but whatever I'm going to speak now, it's all whatever I heard from my Guru Maharaj. So just a disclaimer upfront, not to think that it's my own realizations. So I was actually listening to a class exactly on the same topic of importance of deity worship from my spiritual master. When I started listening to this class, 35 to 45 minutes to the class, I'm like, what he wants to say. Seriously, I was thinking like that, Maharaj, come on, you know what I want. What do you want me to speak? And then this whole 35-40 minutes class, he connected so nicely in the last 10 minutes. If I don't listen this 35-45 minutes class, I will not understand anything what he wants to say in the last 10 minutes. So he actually put the whole background for us to understand the actual importance as we say Guru Sadhu Shastra. So he connected the whole parampara system. It's not something new today that we are having deities at home, so we have to worship those deities. But he connected the whole system of parampara, how our Goswamis, even from Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, everybody was worshipping and how much emphasis they gave on the deity worship. So we have one section of Srimad Bhagavatam that I thought I will read, but it's okay. If anybody has an opportunity once you go home, it's Canto 11, Chapter 27. So the whole canto of that chapter, particularly that chapter of 27th chapter, Krishna particularly emphasizes on deity worship. Because Krishna, he actually was ready to leave this planet, and then he took the whole Yadu dynasty. He was ready to take, he already sent them, most of them. You know how the war happened for the Yadu dynasty, and then everybody got killed. So everybody left. Everybody was ready to leave, but except Uddhava. That's why the Canto 11 is Uddhava Gita, we call. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna when he was in dilemma, what he has to do. Now he is leaving. Now Uddhava is in dilemma. Why you are not taking me? Why you are taking everybody else? What should I do without you here? Uddhava is not like us that every Sunday he goes and sees Krishna. Every Sunday he just goes and says Haribol to Radhanatabar and then forget about Monday to Saturday. Uddhava was not like that. Uddhava was his closest friend. They were eating on the same plate. They were playing together. They were discussing things together. They were sleeping on the same bed. They were so close friends. So Krishna is like, why are you leaving me? Then this whole Uddhava Gita has been spoken by Krishna to Uddhava, and then where the emphasis of deity worship has been mentioned very nicely in that 27th chapter of 11th canto. You read the entire chapter. I went through many verses, and then it is really a very wonderful information and lot of instructions by Srila Prabhupada in the purports of importance of deity worship. So in Dwarka, after Krishna left Vrindavan, before that, how much time I have, Mataji? 6:20. Okay. So when Krishna went to Dwarka, Devaki expresses her feeling that, I gave you birth, but you immediately went to Vrindavan. I never saw you as a little Gopal. I never saw you as a child. So I have this desire to see your Balalila. I really have wanted to see you as little Gopal. And then Krishna, to fulfill her desire, he immediately manifests as a little Gopal running in Dwarka's palace. And then he wanted to manifest that Leela of Damodar Leela, and when Krishna is tying into the rope. Also, he manifests that Leela. Then Rukmini sees that form. Rukmini sees that little Krishna running in the palace. Even though Krishna was her husband, but he saw that little Krishna running in the palace. And then she expresses her desire to the Lord, saying that I wanted to worship that Balagopal. So Krishna manifests as a deity, and then Rukmini, in her inner courts, she really, really worshipped with so much of dedication and devotion of that Krishna, the little Krishna. So after Dwarka, everything, the Yuga is ending. When Dwarka went down into under the sea, after many years, Madhvacharya appeared in Madhva Sampradaya. Madhvacharya, when he appeared, he was sitting on the shore of the ocean. And then this is a whole pastime again, but just the conclusion of that pastime is he finds a little Gopal in the middle of sandalwood, a small Gopal. And then he picks up that Krishna from that sandalwood, boat of sandalwood basically. It's a whole boat with sandalwood, and then there's a small deity there. So he picks up that little Krishna and he establishes a temple for him. That's what we call these days as Udupi Krishna. So we need to understand that when Madhvacharya installed the deity, he didn't say, okay, I installed, my job is done. So, but he actually established 17 mutts, it seems, 17 mutts, and so many sannyasis, and such a prolonged deity worship of standards he established, making sure that not just now and tomorrow, but coming in the future, there shouldn't be any impediment for the worship of this little Krishna or the offerings. They should never miss an offering, they should never miss an arati. So he established all these sannyasis, and I think they take like a rotation. Every 17 years or 16 years, the sannyasi, the head of the sannyasi mutt, they move. they take rotation. But what Maharaj was saying that those 16 years, they don't just wait, okay, let my position come, then I'll think about it. But those 16 years, they deeply meditate on how they wanted to worship little Krishna, how much they have to put their time and energy so that they strictly follow those principles that Madhvacharya has been established. So that's why Udupi Krishna's the worship of Udupi Krishna is very, very elaborate, very, very strict, and that's why it is still flourishing, this temple. So that's Madhvacharya. And then when it comes to Ramanujacharya, he established the worship in Srirangam, Tirupati, and those were also very, very high standards. And if you go to Srirangam, the standard of worship in Srirangam is beyond what we can imagine. So the number of offerings, the way they do the worship of the deity. So then our 6 Goswamis, right? Our 6 Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the instruction, these deities that we talk about, Radha Govinda, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, all these deities, they were established 5,000 years ago by Vajranabh. Who is Vajranabh? Is the grandson of Krishna, right? So he established those deities 5,000 years ago, but then as the days goes by, they were hidden somewhere. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave the instructions to 6 Goswamis to go and find those deities and establish the temples again. And again, our 6 Goswamis, they are so renounced. They are actually ministers, but they renounced everything. And they came to Vrindavan on the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they were so sad, they couldn't find Radha Madan Mohan. You know the pastime of Radha Madan Mohan, how Sanatana Goswami got it. Same thing with Radha Govinda. Because he wanted to find Radha Govinda, but he couldn't find Radha Govinda. So, but one day one cohort boy came to Rupa Goswami and he says, there is this one cow, it is going on the top of the hill and it is just giving the milk without anybody trying to, suck the milk. So then Rupa Goswami runs to that place and he finds, and he asks all the Vrajavasis to dig, and he finds the beautiful deity of Radha Govinda. But at the same time, for Radha Govinda, for Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, they established such beautiful, beautiful temples. They did not say that we are so renounced, let me put just a hut or a hatch so they can stay. But they built beautiful temples for Radha Govinda and Radha Madan Mohan. Because they wanted to make sure that coming in the future, everybody has to have an opportunity to serve them. Everybody has to have an opportunity to follow those principles. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami, what did Gopal Bhatta Goswami did? He has a Shaligram Shila. Gopal Bhatta Goswami has a beautiful Shaligram Shila. But then he saw Radha Madan Mohan, he saw Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath. They are being worshipped so nicely and they are decorated so nicely with jewels and dresses and everything. He's like, what can I do for this Shaligram? I could not do anything. I could not dress. I could not decorate. I wish I can decorate. I wish I can put some jewels. And that's what he was meditating. And then he was like, okay, I cannot do anything because he's Shaligram. Then he went to take bath in Yamuna. And then when he came back, what did he see? The whole Shaligram manifested as a deity, which is now we call Radha Raman. The standard of deity worship of Radha Raman is very, very high. Even Srila Prabhupada, he told ISKCON deity ministry that if you want to know any standards of deity worship, go and talk to Radha Raman Pujaris. And Maharaj said one thing which is little funny, but it is very, very touching for me. He said, of all these years, of all these hundreds of years at Radharaman temple, none of the deity paraphernalia has been stolen. None of the deity paraphernalia has been stolen, either their jewelry, clothing, or anything, or none of the offerings have been missed. So he was saying that's how attentive each pujari is. That's how attentive each each pujari was there to worship Radha Raman. And then Guru Maharaj connected, and then he brought Srila Prabhupada into picture because he was going by parampara. And then he said, Srila Prabhupada, he established so many deities around the world. And then he specifically took the example of Juhu temple, like Radha Ras Bihari. We all read that temple, that Giriraj Maharaj wrote that book, I'll build you a temple. It's the whole pastime of how much Srila Prabhupada has to fight for establishing Radha Raj Bihari. He has to fight with everybody, anybody. So, and he said he promised Radha Raj Bihari that I'll build you a temple. But he didn't say that, okay, all these things are going on, you're Supreme Personality of Godhead, you need to understand what is going on, you're already seeing, you're already watching, I'm trying my best, but it's not happening, so you need to adjust in this hatch. He didn't say like that, but he fought till the end until he built the temple for Radha Raj Bihari. So, we talked about Gopal. So, Srila Rupa Goswami, in his 64 items of devotional service, he mentioned 5 of them are very, very important. First one is chanting, second one is reading, third one is association, fourth one is going to the holy places, and fifth one is worshipping the deity. Worshipping the deity is a science. It is not just like some mechanical thing or something that we do just because everybody has the deities. I also want to have the deities. So, because we need to understand that the personality that we are worshipping, either it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Radharani, Krishna, Gopalji, whoever you are worshipping, we need to understand that he is there. It is not just a brass or a wood or a something deity. He is there as a person in that. So, one time somebody challenged Srila Prabhupada saying that, you say that Krishna is everywhere, right? Krishna is everywhere. So then why we have to worship Krishna? Why you are worshipping this stone? Why are you worshipping this wood? Srila Prabhupada said, you agree that Krishna is everywhere, so Krishna is also here. Krishna is also in this form. This is not just the stone, just the wood. Krishna is here. So when we offer incense, we offer ghee lamp, with what consciousness we are offering those articles to the Lord? That is very, very important. Because in deity worship, we have 2 tracks, right? One is Pancharatrika Vidhi and another one is deity worship, Bhagavad Dharma. So the Pancharatrika Vidhi is all the rules and regulations that we have, all the rules and regulations, what to do, you take Achaman, you do this, you do that, all that. And then the Bhagavad Dharma is your chanting, reading, and association of devotees, all this. If our chanting, our sadhana, our reading is not proper, we will never be able to do the deity worship with proper consciousness. Because unless until we read about Krishna, we hear about Krishna and understand what Krishna is, what qualities Krishna has, how merciful he is, how compassionate he is, we will never be able to worship Krishna with that same consciousness. For us, he is just standing there just as a decorative doll. So we need to have a proper sadhana. We need to have a proper reading of the scriptures that Prabhupada has sacrificed his life to give us, to understand how we worship the deity, with what consciousness we have to worship the deity. It's not a fancy thing or a fashionable thing to get the deities and then initial enthusiasm will be there. This is mine, okay? Disclaimer, this is mine. So initially we have a lot of enthusiasm when we want to get the deities. When we get the deities also, we still have the same enthusiasm. I wanted to make dress every week. I did that. Every Ekadasi I used to make a new outfit for my Gaur Nitai with my hands. Because that time I was not working. So that initial enthusiasm will be there. I wanted to bathe them every day. I wanted to do this every day. I wanted to dress them every day. I want to do this. And then as our life goes, life is not the same all the time. There will be so many changes that comes. So we have to be very practical in establishing the standards at home, based on our lifestyle, based on our schedules, based on our, we can at least foresee some of our future. May not be everything, but some of it. So we need to understand that, okay, this is my lifestyle is going to be like this, so I can only do this much. Doing the seva very sincerely with proper consciousness is more important than doing elaborately with frustration. So that's one thing that we need to implement in our lives. Even if we offer, that's why Krishna says patram pushpam phalam toyam. Even if you offer simple things with bhakti to Krishna, he will accept it, but not out of frustration. At the same time, being grahasthas, it will be nice that the whole family is involved in the deity worship, not keeping everything on one person, because that will help both the family as well as the consciousness. Because tomorrow, say, I'm just taking example, if Narahari used to take care of the deities, he used to dress Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, he used to dress Gaur and Nitai. Now he's gone, right? He's out. He's doing his masters and he's out. So now I have to do it. Do I think, oh, I have to do it? No, I don't want to think like that. It is rather, what happens is if we don't develop proper consciousness, I was discussing that with Mata other day, if we don't have that grateful heart, that Krishna mercifully incarnated in this form for me, either it is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Gaur Nitai, or everybody, if we don't have that understanding that Krishna mercifully incarnated in this form for me, because I cannot see him through my material eyes, so he came in this form, but he is there. And if we don't have that consciousness, and if we don't develop that grateful heart, when we worship the deities, our consciousness is so totally different. So what will happen? Every day it will become a chore. Like our brushing teeth, going to bed, reading a book, it's a chore for us, right? Every day, I have to brush, I have to take shower, I have to do this, I have to do that. So it will also become a chore, right? So doing deity worship is also becoming a chore. So then what happens? As a chore, we will do some more days. Okay, I have to do it anyway, I will do it. And then what will happen after some time? Slowly, the day will come where we start thinking, why my Guru Maharaj, why my spiritual master has left me with this burden? This is such a burden in my life to take care of these deities. I have to dress them, I have to bathe them, I have to do the offering, I have to make sure I have something to feed them. Why he left me with this burden? Think about it. We take bath every single day. We dress ourselves every single day. But when we have deities at home, sometimes we don't dress them for months. Sometimes we don't dress them for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. They're just standing there. Did they ask us to, so take me your home, take me your home? They did not. They did not ask us to come. We enthusiastically, we went and got the deities. We went and brought them home. It's our responsibility to take care of them properly. They are people. They are standing there for us, mercifully glancing us, giving mercy to us. So that is very, very important. Like if you cannot, that's why I'm saying when we establish the standards at home, establish in such a way that we do that seva with proper consciousness. To the degree we have that faith in them that they are people, they are standing there, Krishna is really there. To the degree we have that faith and consciousness, to that degree they will reveal themselves to us. And I was listening to one pastime from Chaitanya Leela, from my spiritual master, that Gauridas Pandit. He is a devotee and he has Gaur Nitai deities. But his consciousness, he is so pakka that he actually talks to the deities. Literally he talks to them. And when he offers the bhoga, he actually can see them eating. He actually can see them eating. So one day he brings the bhoga to Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu, and he offers the bhoga, and he is sitting and fanning because they have to eat. So that day it was complete silence. Nothing. And he waits for some time and then he still doesn't come. And then he gets so mad. He's like, how long I have to sit? Can you eat? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Mahaprabhu speaks. He says, Gauridas Pandit, every day you are making these many preparations. We can't eat. Why are you making so many preparations? And by looking at you cooking all day, we are also in pain. So we can't eat like this. So why are you doing this? We told you all before, but you are not listening. Why are you doing this? Gauridas Pandit is like, okay, you don't want these many preparations. Okay, from tomorrow I'll give you some boiled rice and boiled potatoes. Okay, for today just eat. Then Maharaj was saying that he was not actually going to do that, but it's like mom to a child. You know, okay, you don't want papu? Okay, don't eat dal. Okay, tomorrow I will not make dal, but today you eat dal. For tomorrow again we make dal only. So it is like that. Gauridas Pandit is like, okay, you eat today, tomorrow I'll make boiled rice and boiled potatoes. So then they're like, okay, good job. You are going to listen to us? I said, yeah, we will listen to you. Eat first. So then they started eating, and every preparation they are eating, they are telling how tasty that was to Gauridas Pandit. And Gauridas Pandit was so happy to listen to them. Can you imagine when you offer bhoga to Radha Nattabar and Radha Nattabar is saying, wow, this is so good. Probably the Khasas also offering burnt cookies also sometimes, right? So that's the consciousness, that is the purity that he has, that they can speak to them. So he offers bhoga and they eat, and then he comes back, and one day he was thinking, wow, I wish I can dress Gaur Nitai in actual precious jewels. Right? When we offer deities the jewelry, it's all plastic beads and something fake, but not real jewelry. So I wish I can offer precious jewels to Gaur Nitai and dress them so preciously beautiful. And he was thinking like that, and he was like, anyway, I do not have that capacity to dress them. I do not have capacity to do like that. So then he prepares his own plate of, with the dresses and jewelry that he has, and he opens the door to dress them. Whatever jewels he was meditating on, whatever the colors of the dress he was meditating on, they dressed themselves exactly in the same color outfit, and they're having the same jewelry that he was meditating on. He wants to have a particular earring, he wants to have a particular necklace. So they were wearing exactly the same jewelry with the same precious jewels that he wanted to offer. So what we understand from this, if we have purity, if we have proper consciousness, and if we are grateful and think that there are actually people sitting there for me, standing there for me, and they actually respond to our consciousness. But that consciousness is not just, it's like one day job. Okay, today I have so much consciousness, Krishna, please talk. Tomorrow I will think about it. It's not going to be like that. Our consciousness is a lifetime meditation. It's a lifetime practice of how they are people, they are sitting there, they're existing for us, they're coming for us. So that's why even when we do any kind of service to the deities, not only at home, even at temple, our consciousness has to be, even if we make garlands, if we make cookies, our consciousness has to be, how best I can serve deities. What is the best? I want to do the best quality of service to Krishna. Not with a competitive mood that, okay, I wanted to make better garlands than her, or I wanted to make best garlands so that everybody says, oh, only Vrajabhakti can make these garlands. Oh, by looking at the garlands, I know it's Vrajabhakti. You can only make the garlands. My ego can be satisfied. My false ego will be very nice, but in Krishna's eyes, I'm a failure. In the whole world, in the world of material world eyes, we may fail. But if we pass in the eyes of Krishna, then it's a success. We may pass in the whole world of eyes, but if we fail in the eyes of Krishna, we're a failure. So any service that we do, what consciousness that we are putting into that service is very, very important. So when we have deities at home, and he was also saying that in New Vrindavan one time, Srila Prabhupada was sitting and giving class, Srimad Bhagavatam class, and he was all of a sudden he stopped in the middle of the class and he turned his head and he was looking at Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And everybody was silent. And Maharaj was saying all muddy devotees because they all worked in the fields those days. Now we have nice fancy roads and everything fancy. But during 1970s, the amount of hard work, the amount of dedication that Srila Prabhupada's disciples has put to bring New Vrindavan to this stage is unimaginable. Can you believe they don't have anything to eat? And Maharaj was saying, even though the devotees are starving, they have the best offerings for Radha Vrindavan Chandra. So Srila Prabhupada was looking at the deities of Radha Vrindavan Chandra and he took a pass from the class and he was looking at them for a few minutes and then he turned to the devotees and he said, they are very happy. And he said, thank you for taking care of them. He don't think that Srila Prabhupada is very merciful, very compassionate, so he wanted to encourage the devotees, so he said that. There are pastimes that where he chastised also. I mentioned this pastime before, but I'll mention it again just to have the opposite of the comparison. What do you call in English? I forgot. The contrary, right? So he went to one temple in, I think in England, Japan, somewhere. So he was looking at the deities and all Prabhupada disciples, Hare Krishna Maharaj, everybody was next to him. And he was actually doing the lip movement. Prabhupada was actually doing the lip movement. And everybody's like, is he talking to the deities? Because everybody is in the back. So, and everybody's like, oh, maybe he's talking to the deities. We don't know. So after some time, he called the temple president. After a few minutes of that meditation, he called the temple president. And he said, what time Krishna is going to sleep? And the temple president said, one day he goes to sleep at 9 o'clock, but sometimes he goes to sleep at 11 o'clock. So Prabhupada asked why he is going to sleep at 11 o'clock. He said, oh, Prabhupada, our temple is run by donations, So there are these big donors, business people. They're very busy with their business meetings. So they come to take darshan at 10:30, 10:45. So we keep them awake until they come and take darshan. Prabhupada looked at the temple president. He said, I'm asking you this question because both Radharani and Krishna, they have black circles under their eyes. They are not having enough sleep. They are totally tired. I do not care if those businessmen are giving donation or not giving donation. They have to go to sleep by 9 o'clock. So Prabhupada actually could see how nicely we are taking care of the deities. I don't know what will Prabhupada say if he comes to Radha Vrindavan temple, Matabar temple. So we'll see. Maybe we have to meditate on Srila Prabhupada so he can speak through someone. So, but what I'm trying to say is, Acharyas, they could see them as they are. They're not looking at them as stones. They're not looking at them as wood. Jagannath is made of wood, so he's just wood. There are how many pastimes of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra that we heard. What a beautiful reciprocation of those deities. Okay, 2 more minutes. What a beautiful reciprocation of those deities. I will just narrate one pastime and then we'll just end the class. So in Puri, one time, this one, untouchables. In India, they say, oh, you are not allowed, you are low caste, this caste, that caste. So they said, you are not allowed to come inside the temple. They said, okay, can I give you this basket of mangoes, wonderful mangoes. Can you take these mangoes and offer it to Lord Jagannath and Baldev and Subhadra? They said, no, they are being touched by you, so they are contaminated, get out of here. So in Puri, if you see, there is a big Dvajastambam we call, the big Dvajastambam. People from India, they know what it is. Big pole in the front of the temple. So he stood there. In Puri, on the top of the temple, there is Sudarshan Chakra. So it has been said that by taking the darshan of the chakra, it is equal to taking darshan of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra on the altar. So he was standing at Dvajastamba. He's taking one mango in hand like this, and he was praying to Lord Jagannath. And the mango disappearing from his hand. another mango disappearing. So at the end of it, he's walking with empty basket. And then the security guard said, hey, did you go inside? I told you not to go inside. I said, no, I didn't go inside. I was standing here and offering, and the Lord accepted it. And then they laugh at him. Oh, you're standing here and you're showing mango and Lord Jagannath took it. What a funny story. Go. And then the person leaves. And then the pujari, he goes for the next service on the altar. And the whole altar is mango pits. Mango pits, and then Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are like full of mango juice on the mouth and on the dress and the hands dripping. He's like, what happened? Who did this? And then they call the security guard. Who came inside the temple? What happened? And then when the security guard saw, his mind blown away. Oh, whatever he said is true. They actually accepted all those mangoes from him. So he is not a king. That person is not a king. That person is not a rich person. But he is rich in consciousness. He is rich in bhakti. He is rich in prema. That's what we need to develop. And Gaur, Nitai, Radha Krishna, all these deities, they are so merciful. They come to our home so that we have that opportunity to develop that personal relationship with them. Devotees, I'm telling you, life is not easy. And everybody knows that. You may not agree, but life is not easy. So sometimes in life, situations comes where we cannot say anything to anybody. That the pain in the heart is so much that you don't even want to share with anybody. You don't know how to share with anybody. But you will be able to talk to them. When we have the deities at home, when we develop that personal relationship with them, they will listen to us. And you will see the reciprocation also according to how we take care of them. We leave them there and once in a month, twice in a month we go, okay, you want me to dress? Okay, let me dress you, Baba. It takes 1 hour to dress you. Where do I get 1 hour in 2 months? But we have all 24 hours every day. But 1 month, 2 months we go and then 1 hour it takes 2 hours to dress them. If we have that consciousness, even we are dressing them, they don't want our dress. They don't want our bhakti. They want actually the love. One time one devotee was explaining about the preparation of sweet rice. So he was explaining everything. This ingredient, that ingredient, you boil the milk like this, you add sugar like this, you add elaichi powder, And he said there is one last ingredient that we will add it. That is very, very important than all this sugar and flour and everything. And he said at the end, how many of you added the last ingredient? Everybody's like, you didn't tell us, Prabhu. What is that last ingredient? He said, bhakti. If we don't add that ingredient when we are cooking for Krishna, and Krishna doesn't need it. Krishna is Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sevyamanam. Thousands of Lakshmis are serving him. Who are we? One time Tamal Krishna Maharaj was saying something to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada could see that he's feeling that he achieved something, right? So then Prabhupada said, there is this whole millions of universes. Out of millions of universes, we are in one universe. In that one universe, we have one small earth planet. On that small earth planet, there is these different countries, different oceans. On those different countries, we have a small country called United States. In that small country called United States, there is a pinch of a state called Texas. In that pinch of state called Texas, there is a mustard grain of city called Dallas. In that mustard city called Dallas, there is a person like an ant lives Tamal Krishna. And he thinks he is great. That's what Srila Prabhupada told him. And he felt so humiliated. He's like, oh my God. And because Prabhupada could see that. So when we go before the deity, when we are trying to worship them, what do we think? We have to remember our humble position as an insignificant soul. And Krishna mercifully came to us to worship. Sometimes we have this excuse, oh, you got the deities, are you taking care of them? No, I didn't get the deities. They came. They came. But somewhere in the back of our mind, at some point, we have the desire to have the deities. How that desire got fulfilled is a story. That they came, he brought, he this, that, this is a story. But the desire is us. We had the desire, and Krishna came according to our desire. So when we have the desire to take care of them, how much emphasis, how much consciousness, when we do sadhana, why we do sadhana, why we chant, to chant more, but for what? To develop that bhakti, to develop that Krishna prema. And when we cannot take care of deities here for 1 hour, 2 hours, what is the possibility that we are going to serve Krishna eternally? Eternally, every day, 24 hours, we have to serve Krishna. Not once in a while. And we should never feel that our services are a burden for us. The moment we think that moment, the phala means the result that comes out of our service is gone. Even if you do the seva, it is gone already. We will not get any results out of that service. So even at home, be conscious of the deities. If you want to set a time, you set a time, but based on our lifestyle, okay, I cannot do every day 7 o'clock because sometimes I have to go to school by 7:30, sometimes I have to go to school by 8:30. So, but at least a standard that I want to do a morning puja and an evening puja. So something like that. If it's difficult to have that time consciousness services, but at least set a standard according to the lifestyle that you can maintain. Not just 1-2 months of deities coming home, or that I'll do so much, I'll have to do this, I have to do this, and then you forget it. It becomes as a burden. So do your chanting properly, reading of scriptures properly. That helps with the consciousness. Listen as much as you can from the senior Vaishnavas, from your spiritual masters. Don't take deity worship so recklessly, carelessly, easy. You just have to put your heart. When you put your heart, you can actually see them smiling at us. You can actually see them so happy. And then they reciprocate. Another thing, when I say they reciprocate, I'm like, I'm worshipping them so nicely. I just wanted one Mercedes Benz. I just want 6,500 square feet home. My house is only 2,600. As Vrajabhakti mataji said, my consciousness is good when I'm worshipping them. I'm worshipping them on time. As she said, morning and evening. But why not Mercedes Benz? Why not 6,500 square feet home? Krishna will give us what we need as per our purification. If something he gives and it is not good for our bhakti, no matter what, even if he says, I'll give my blood, Krishna, I'll break my head for you, Krishna. He says, you break your head, I'll send you to the hospital, but I'm not going to give it. He's not going to give it. He will give only when we need it. Right? Same thing like Tamil Krishna Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, why so many rich people in the country, so many people in the state, why only I am struggling to pay the rent for this building? And Srila Prabhupada looked at him and he laughed and said, the day Krishna thinks that you will not waste a penny of his income, he will give you the money. So that's what Krishna is. He's watching us. He's watching our consciousness. He's watching our intention. When we worship the deity, what intent we are having. That is very important. I just have to do it. Sometimes I hear from my friends and things, when both wife and husband are there, they complain. Only I am doing everything. I make puri, but he wants me to make sabji. I make rice, but he wants me to make dal also. It is not about what he wants, what I want. It's about what Krishna wants. When I want to offer, what I wanted to offer Krishna. Can I just give my family just puri in the plate and leave it? No. But Krishna, I can do it. Because Krishna is not going to say anything. We are not pure enough. to hear him, but he's screaming from there. Like the way he said Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami is so pure. So he said, Arey Baba, what is this wheat flour? Every day you're giving it these balls of wheat flour. Thoda sa salt, put some salt, Baba. But because he's so pure, he could listen to Sanatan Goswami. Same thing he's also telling us. But we are so materially contaminated, we could not hear from him. So do the services from your heart and set the standards based on your lifestyle, which you can maintain for the rest of your life, so that you can do those services without feeling any burden. Srila Prabhupada is merciful. Our spiritual masters are mercifully giving their blessings for us to somehow or the other remember Krishna through process of chanting, deity worship, and association of devotees. And we all have to take the advantage of that and perfect our lives. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
No corrections. Hare Krishna. I just want us to take like 1 minute and close our eyes and imagine for 1 minute that Krishna has left the planet with all of his paraphernalia and entourage. Just imagine that for 1 moment. Hare Krishna. So with a show of hands, how many who are here have a spiritual master? How many are aspiring? How many have children? I don't have to ask this one, I'm going to ask anyway. How many have parents? Everybody has parents or has had parents before in this life. So just to try to give a little bit about having the proper mood and consciousness of service for Krishna, but we also have to have that mood with our spiritual master if we're aspiring. If you take the example, and I'm going to call one spiritual master whose disciple is not here, but who's everybody kind of knows, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Who knows or has heard about Jayapataka Swami Maharaj? Kind of keep an update on his activities. Yeah. Oh, but where is he? Is he over there? Can you come forward, please?
And his wife as well.
Yeah. Oh, they're outside. So, I have many wonderful examples of God brothers and God sisters who, even to this day, are giving every ounce of their life's breath and energy to try to please Srila Prabhupada by pushing on Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. So I would like you all to know who Ram Prakash Prabhu is, right?
Yes.
He takes care of everybody by serving Sri Sri Radha Vrindavanatha Bar and all of their different manifestations in the temple every day. Every day. It's not an easy task, right? Not only is he doing that, but he has a fairly new family member, and he has another daughter who's very wonderful, and he has a wonderful wife, and he's come all the way. Mayapur?
Yes.
Came all the way from Mayapur just to associate with us and to represent His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. Now, Jayapataka Swami, he has had many, many, many bodily challenges. But if you see him, he is so enthusiastically and determined and happily ready to do everything for Srila Prabhupada. Even in the midst of all of his challenges. He can't walk. He can still speak where you can still kind of hear, but sometimes you can't understand. But he has such wonderful disciples who take care of every aspect of his needs. Krishna Jivani Mataji knows a lot about this. And if you're a mother, you know a lot about this when you're taking care of your children. Because they're dependent on us to take care of them, right? And as disciples, we also have to take care of our spiritual master by representing them so nicely. Because when we don't, it puts a weight on their shoulders. Now imagine, before you were disciples, and you had a desire to want to become a disciple, and I know, at least for me, there's no sin I've never committed in all the lifetimes I've been in the material world. And your spiritual master comes and he says, I am willing to accept all the results of all of your past sins on my shoulders so that you can be free to have an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. So he said, please, just try to follow this process. Try to, as Srila Prabhupada said, you will show your love for me by what? How well we what? Cooperate together. Srila Prabhupada also said, how can you love someone who you cannot see unless you can learn to love those you see every day? And that's the greatest gift that he gave to us is each other. Association with all of us to help us to be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Just by remembering his name only and appreciating him, I can make rapid spiritual advancement. Just by appreciating you. Not just with words, but really in my heart. Imagine Krishna Jivani. I can make so much advancement in Krishna consciousness just by remembering your name. You see how merciful Srila Prabhupada is? He has given us such a wonderful gift of each other. And he's come to sacrifice his life so that we will have an opportunity to be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, everybody don't want to go back home, back to Godhead. Everybody don't want to go. And if you want to go or not, just by coming around, eventually you'll develop a desire to want to go because Kali Yuga is progressing. And it's going to get terrible. It's already bad, but it's going to get so much worse. So much worse. Srila Prabhupada said, pretty soon there won't be any water. Everything's going to dry up. No water. How can we live without water? Just water. Even if you don't have any food, you can survive on water. You can survive on water, even if you don't have food. So as Vrajabhakti was speaking about the old days in New Vrindavan, I had a little bit of time of that, so the old Vrajabhakti spirit that the devotees had in those days was the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. And we can still have it, but you have to be willing to have it, It's like that saying where it says you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, So Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. Everything. We have everything. We do. We have it. Like, it's right there. But you have to be willing to take it. He's not going to force. Krishna, well, he kind of forced, but he doesn't. He'll say, just take it. He's like, I'm not ready yet. But when will you be ready? Really, when will you be ready? What do you have to go through to be ready to surrender to Krishna? Krishna loves us so much that, as Vrajabhakti said, he's willing to come to us. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna is so kind that he has come in his deity form just to allow us to serve him personally. Out of his kindness. That's out of his kindness. And some truths about motherhood, when you have little babies, unless you don't have anything else to do except take care of the baby, but even sometimes in that, it becomes so, sometimes it's very, in the beginning it's so, oh, my baby is so wonderful and easy. But as time goes on, it becomes more difficult. But if you love them, you don't mind the sacrifice. The sacrifice is worth it. You're willing to make a loving sacrifice to take care of your child. So Krishna is coming to accept our sacrifice. But we have to learn how to love him. The only way you can learn to love him is that you have to serve him. And even if you don't have any love, you have to pray for it. Because sometimes, you have a new child and sometimes the love is not automatically there. For some, it's just not automatically there. But through service and continued service with a lot of prayer, it will manifest. And then it's like, even those things which seem to be so difficult, as I'm saying with Jayapataka Swami, just normal things that we take so for granted, is so difficult. But because he loves Srila Prabhupada so much, he's going to do it till his last breath. Srila Prabhupada loved Bhaktisiddhanta so much that to his last breath, he was still preaching to his last breath, translating the Bhagavatam for us. For us. If it wasn't for Parampara and our, beloved, respected Guru Maharajas, what would we be doing right now? We wouldn't be sitting here. Imagine. No service, no Krishna, no devotees, complete suffering. That's it. Really. Chewing the chewed. Trying to get some rice from the rice paddy and it's all gone and you're still beating and beating and beating and beating and nothing is coming up. And Bhagavad Gita says we have to perform our service without expectations of the results. The results are not ours to enjoy. It's not for us. We only do it to please our Guru and Krishna. That's it. And if you don't have that, you have to pray for it. Really, you have to pray for it. Because imagine if it could be all be just as he gives it, he can take it away. Within a moment, he can take it away. Take it all away. Everything. We won't even be able to stand up. Krishna say, no more standing. That's it. Then you'll be like, can somebody help me? You know? What if there's nobody who wants to help? You know? When somebody doesn't want to help you and you really need some help, imagine what that feels like. Krishna's waiting for us. And he said, just call my name. I'm there for you. Whatever you need. You know, I'm can give you everything. But he wants us always to just only want him and to serve him with love. That's it. What does he need? What do he need from us? What can we give Krishna? Really? What can we give him? What do you own?
Remember that example that one time Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he went to Srila Prabhupada. He's like, Srila Prabhupada, what is the most important thing that I have to renounce? And Srila Prabhupada looked at him. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the most important thing that you suggest for me to renounce? And Srila Prabhupada looked at him and he said, what do you have?
What do you have? Really? What do we have?
And he was looking, what do you mean, what do you have? He said, everything belongs to Krishna.
Yes.
But because you asked me, I'm going to suggest you. Please renounce the feeling that you have something to renounce.
Really? And that's it in a nutshell, you know? We do our best, but you really do your best. And you know when you're doing your best. You know, because you just do your best. And you leave the rest for Krishna. If you're doing your best, no matter, and it may not be somebody else's best, but you do your particular best. Your particular best. With as much love and meditation on who you're doing it for. Krishna says, engage in my service, loving service, while meditating on me. You're doing it to please Krishna, nobody else. I mean, you're a spiritual master. If you're doing it to please Krishna, your spiritual master is pleased. Right? That's the whole purpose of our life. It's meant for sacrifice. We sacrifice for the pleasure of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
When we do deity worship, even the children at home, they get a lot of inspiration to do deity worship. As I was mentioning, when Narahari was staying home, he was dressing Jagannath, Bali, Subhadra and everybody. Now, Parikshit was like, they are 10 years apart, so he was so little, right? So I didn't do anything or train him anything. But last 1 year, 2 years, when I was dressing, I'm just asking him to assist me a little bit, bring the jewelry, bring this jewelry. But Krishna is so merciful when we show some kind of attention and some kind of love towards him. He really inspires us from within. So now, by Krishna's mercy, he dresses all small deities at home. I only dress Radha Govinda. When the dressing time comes, he dresses all small deities. And I just dress Radha Govinda because they are too much for him to handle. So I dress Radha Govinda. But school time, when he's busy or something, I make sure at least once a week he has some dressing, maybe small Gopal or something. The rest of them I'll try to dress. So it is not like, I'm not saying with pride or anything. What I'm trying to say is even we can engage children in Krishna's love because he's also a soul. He may be my child, but he's also part and parcel of Krishna. Has the same, aspiration to go back to Godhead. For that soul is hankering for Krishna. So we can even engage in the deity worship children, small children. Not when they are too small, when they don't know what is cleanliness. Just put something in the mouth and go touch deities. Not like that. They have to come to a stage where they understand the importance of cleanliness. And even if they touch the body, they have to go wash hand. That kind of cleanness they have to understand. And we can engage the children also so that they also can develop that love for Krishna.
I just have a simple question. It's like, we want to do everything for Krishna. So I have a desire to cook for Krishna, but I'm not doing it. It's like at home, I'm doing it with all the diet consciousness. Don't put this, don't put that. It's like really, I don't feel like I'm cooking for Krishna. So I don't know what can I do.
Do you want to? You said you have a desire that you want to
Yes.
cook for Krishna, but you're feeling that your service is inadequate.
Yes.
But Krishna is looking at your desire to want to do it, and we should always feel inadequate in our service. That you want to
But-
do it better.
But the desire is also not, every day is not there. So that's also lacking. So how to develop that?
You just keep praying, and you just keep trying. You know, it says, practice makes perfect. You just keep practicing. You know, when you have your first baby and you've never taken care of any baby before, you're doing your best. But as you become more practiced in it and you have another baby, then you know better what to do. You know, and by association, you know the desire will develop. You know, and of course, like Vrajabhakti Mataji was saying, you know, by hearing and reading, you know, hearing from your spiritual master is very important. Association is very important. And sometimes we're not able to associate like this, you know, but in your home, if you're not able to come personally and have association, you can, there's so many unlimited classes by your spiritual master. I don't even know if in one lifetime you'll be able to hear them all. You know, even trying to get through the Srimad Bhagavatam and all the books that Srila Prabhupada printed, sometimes it, you know, it takes time, you know. So, but you have to keep endeavoring with enthusiasm, you know, and don't linger too much on the sadness of it. You just keep doing it. Well, Krishna, I'm so inadequate, but I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get better and better and better. But by your mercy, I know I can do it. You know, because in America, we didn't know how to make deity offerings. You know, and my own personal experience, I didn't get trained. They gave me a cookbook and told me to go in the kitchen and don't be late. That was it. There was no training. It's like, here, you take this cookbook, you go downstairs, you got this much time, and you can't be late. Not even one minute. You can't even be 30 seconds late. Everything has to be on time. Prabhupada said you have to be punctual with the deities. You can never be late. So one time, I'll just tell you one kind of funny, but it wasn't funny at the time story. So I was cooking the offering, and the pujari left the temple, had gone out. And this is okay. But I was watching the clock, and it was getting close time for the offering, and I was in complete anxiety. I only had first initiation at this time, right? I don't know how to go on the altar and make an offering or anything like that. Nobody ever trained me how to do that. So I kept looking at the clock, and I was in like total devastation. So I called Nivrindavan. I was crying. I said, "Oh my God, the pujari's not here. It's almost time for the offering. It's going to be late. What to do?" And he said, "Well, if the pujari is not back in 2 minutes, you have to go on the altar and do it." And I said, "But I don't know how." He said, "Well, you just go and ask Krishna to accept it. That's it." You know? But luckily the pujari came, because I had made the plates and everything, you know. But luckily the pujari came back 1 minute before the offering, you know. So it's like, thank you, Krishna, you know. But, you know, sometimes you'll be put in those situations where your mind is in complete anxiety in your service to Krishna. But you just keep praying, you know. And if you have to call out for some help, you call out what to do, you know, and you'll get some good instruction, you know. So, but... Huh? You have a question? Okay, Sita.
I just want to share. I remember one time you mentioned during festivals, we are very busy with the temple services.
Yes.
And then we can't follow the morning routine and everything.
Yes.
And you said, like, don't worry, they accept the services from the temple.
Yeah.
Like in whatever you do for the deities,
For your home deities.
for whom, like, they'll accept, the home deities will accept. I just want to mention to Mother Vrajabhakti, even though that she cannot do many things at home because of the health reasons and all, but she's cooking wonderful feast for the in the temple to the devotees and the lordships, and every Saturday she's doing it. So they're accepting it from them.
Yes, yes. Yes, I was told that by temple authorities. My god brothers, they said, you can't do at home and you have a time that your service to your home deities and you're serving the deities in the temple, because Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he said that the temple deities are the most important for the community, service to the temple deities, so, and your deities at home will accept that service that you do for the temple deities when you're not there, so you don't have, Krishna is one.
I also want to share one more thing, Mata. I was just thinking about Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, when you were saying about, like, how important the consciousness and all, like, no matter how much his day was busy with the preaching and everything, he used to be on the altar for the morning Mangalarti. And then I have seen him personally, like, sometimes even in Mayapur doing the Aarti for Narsinghadev and different. Most of the times I have seen him doing the Aarti for Narsinghadev. So on his last days, on his deathbed, he was doing all these things.
But he was not awake, right?
Yeah, he was not even awake.
He was sleeping, and he was still offering arti to the deities.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Mother Adhara. She used to sew for the deities, Radha Vrindavan Chandra in New Vrindavan. And, she kind of developed dementia. Huh? Yeah, Alzheimer's, dementia, same thing. And so she couldn't really remember things, but she would still be sewing, in the air. She would still be doing her service to the deities. So Krishna doesn't forget, and he allows you to still serve him no matter what your condition may be,
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing some of your experiences in New Vrindavan in the initial stages. So my question is, now we have many devotees doing service. Again, mainly service in the altar. So, we say like devotional service is unconditional, unmotivated, and uninterrupted. So what was that force for you when you were associating with Srila Prabhupada and working with New Vrindavan? What was that force that kept you alive? Like, whenever any devotee says or Srila Prabhupada says, yes, I have to do it to the best of my ability. What is that force like? Because it's hard for us to practice unconditional, uninterrupted, and unmotivated.
Well, I won't say I wasn't not motivated. My motivation was I wanted to please Shri Shri Radha and because, we all come from different backgrounds and conditionings, and, I grew up without a father, and, I had an older brother, but he was like a younger brother, so he wasn't there to protect me, So when I was allowed to come in the temple and to be able to be accepted, Krishna has always been my everything, even before I knew his name was Krishna. So, for me, in my beginning stages of journey, Shri Shri Radha Muralidhar, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai, Jagannath Baladev, Lady Subhadra, they, how Krishna, he has a way of attracting all living beings. He says he's all attractive. And he attracts us in different ways. So for me, because they saved my life, so, and when I had service, they allowed me to enjoy them like anything. I was enjoying Krishna like anything. He was like, give me so much pleasure. And he was protecting me. Now, after some time, I realized that they helped me to realize that I'm not supposed to be enjoying them, that they're supposed to be enjoying me. But that was the hook. Drew me in. They allowed me to enjoy them like anything, so, and then for me to remember everything that my spiritual master has gone through in his life, just to give us the greatest gift, for me, that's everything, And one day, I really want to be able to please my spiritual master. And so I'm always maintaining that desire within the core of my heart. I want to one day please my spiritual master. And, you may not be able to do all of the things you used to do 50 years ago or 60 years ago, I can say, but you do your best with whatever the Lord allows. You continue to just do your best, and so for me, my driving force was trying to please my guru and Sri Sri Radha Muralidhar, because they allowed me service, and service will save your life. It's nothing like having service, and service is different. It's not just one thing. It's not just two things. It's so many aspects in devotional service, even just standing in the line, serving prasad. Every aspect of service is a meditation of how to please Krishna. When you're serving guests, you have to be making the deity plate as you're serving. You don't just to rush it through. Everything is a meditation. If your spiritual master is standing in line, how will you serve him? If you keep your spiritual master right here, and you try to see him in everything and with everyone who you encounter, then you'll have a safety net. Unless you develop familiarity, then you're in danger. So you don't want to become too familiar, because you'll start to commit offenses.
Gaur Shakti Prabhu will be here in 5 minutes, but I think you can.
Thank you very much, devotees. Thank you very much, Mother Kamagiri. Thank you very much, Mother Vrajabhakti, Sita Sundari Mataji, and Vrajrasika Mataji, and Yadushandra Prabhu. This was a very lively discussion. What I'm going to say now is more for myself, but it's good to share realizations. I think the events leading up to this day, the way the deities came, I called Vrajabhakti Mataji from Vrindavan, and the outpouring of support from the community. Like, we just came from India on Thursday night, and so many devotees have pitched in to cook prasadam. I don't think there is any such thing as a self-made Vaishnava. We like to think in the material world, I am self-made, I did this, blah, blah, blah. But in spiritual life, there is no such thing as a self-made Vaishnava. In the material thing, we say we stand on the shoulders of giants. We don't want to say that in spiritual life. But it's really the love and the support and the inspiration, even though we may be lacking in all three, that we see in others. That's what propels us. Like you mentioned, how do we sustain? I think personally for me, that's what sustains me, seeing other devotees who are serving so enthusiastically. And I think, so I just want to thank each one of you. I know this was incredibly short notice. Every single one of you, all the innumerable offerings that you brought here today, and just with your presence to come at short notice and be part of this celebration with us. It means a lot to us. Thank you very much. We are going to have Mother Sita Sundari lead the Aarti, and Ram Tirtha Prabhu sing Kirtan. And while the Aarti is happening, devotees are welcome to participate in the Kirtan, but also go to their lordships and offer flowers to the deities. And after that, we'll have Narsimadev prayers and then serve out of Prashadam. Yes, Prabhu.
If it's not too late, I heard that there is a very interesting story that how you got them. I don't know if everybody knows it, but if you don't mind, or if it's too late, it's fine. You can.
Is it okay to share, Mataji? Okay. So there is a Vrajavasi by the name of Kripala Gaur Hari Prabhu. He's a disciple of Jayapatak Maharaj, and he takes us to many places in Vrindavan. We are one of the few people in this congregation who, being Indian, do not know Hindi. Okay. So, which means when you go to the North India, you're really at a loss. I mean, I understand, but I can't respond back in kind. Or when I do respond, I'm met with a lot of laughter from the person who I'm talking to. So, Kripala Gaur Hari Prabhu takes us to a lot of places. He was working with my sister-in-law in the electrical engineering department, left all that, lost his very, very young wife. They had been married only for 8 months during the second wave, Delta wave of the COVID pandemic. He had lost his wife. And that would triggered an existential crisis in him, and he left and just went to Vrindavan and became a Vrajavasi. So last year, 2 or 3 times he's taken us to many places. And this year on Saturday night, we went to Vrindavan. On Sunday, he met us at 6 a.m. and he said, I have a small gift for you. To Krishna Smaran Prabhu, and he handed the deities. And many devotees in this community have been encouraging us to take up deity worship. And we've always come up with different reasons. Work schedule is busy, this is blah, blah, blah. All so many reasons why not to do. But mostly from what Vrajabhakti Mataji said was a fear that we would not be able to uphold the standards. So that was the main driving force. Can we do justice to them? But when they came to us unexpectedly, we were just shocked, more anxious than excited. I think that's the right word. We thanked him. We had a full itinerary that day to go to Kamyavan, many places. So we kept the deities in the room, showed it to my sister-in-law, Guru Vandana Devi Dasi. And that evening, Kripala Gaur Hari Prabhu suggested, why don't you ask, Yaduna Chandra Prabhu said, you need a letter to bring the deities out of India. Because it's considered an antique, they'll think you're smuggling. So you have to have a letter saying that you are utilizing it for home worship. So he suggested we meet the head priest of ISKCON Vrindavan. So we went there and we went to his room, and it was very interesting because we were in the head pujari's room, which meant you saw the security footage of the whole ISKCON Vrindavan. So the darshan for Radha Shyam Sundar was closed, but we could see Radha Shyam Sundar because there were security cameras. So that was cool. So we were sitting there waiting, and then he shows up. He is an extremely humble gentleman. He patiently listened to our case. He didn't once ask, are these people even qualified to have deities? It was almost an implicit faith that the fact that they are here, that they will be empowered somehow to take care of them. So he wrote a very heartfelt letter, handwritten. And those of you, handwritten letters are very, very rare these days. It was a very nice letter. And Kripala Gaur Hari Prabhu said, why don't you ask him if he would install your deities? And we somehow summoned the courage to ask him. And he said, he thought through the logistics and said, of course. And that really was a shot in the arm for us in the Holy Dham to have that opportunity. So we went to full speed. We called all the devotees. They gave us a big shopping list. We went to Loy Bazaar, shopped as if there was no tomorrow. And the next day we went to his home. And I'm just sharing some details because there's something to learn from each detail. So we show up to his home at 9. And his home was just spotless. Those of you who've gone to Vrindavan, you know sometimes you get turned off a little bit by how the lack of cleanliness sometimes. But then you go to his home, it's like an oasis in Vrindavan. It is spotless. I think of if someone came to my home and like 30 minutes before that, we are still cleaning, dumping everything in one room. And here he is, people are coming spotless. And his wife received us very graciously, got everything ready. He had got all the ingredients ready for the Abhishek. Curd, honey, knowing that we were from outside, We didn't know the language. He didn't have to do all that. He's the head pujari. He has so many services. And did very nicely, instructed us throughout, sang the Sadgoswami Ashtakam, instructed us on the mood of worship. And after all that, we thanked him that he had so many services that we were very indebted, that he took time out of it, or out of his hectic schedule, and he said, why would I be upset about this? This is fun. I am with Gaurahari. He named them Nitai Gaurahari. And he said, when I'm in the temple, I have to deal with management. All the people are coming to me complaining. But here I am with the deities and with you all. So why would I complain? So it's just all those qualities of Vaishnavas that they don't feel like you're imposing on them. That they go above and beyond to someone who he had never met. There was no reason for him to do that. But he opened up his home and his heart and his time to do that. So we feel really blessed. We really think it's the blessings of every single person in this room today that helped Sri Sri Nitai Gaurahari come to our home. I don't think of myself as conventional in terms of how Vrajabhakti Mataji serves or Sita Sundari Mataji serves, or so many, like Sudha Mataji does so much garlands. And even when she was going through a health challenge, I remember 6 months after the surgery, she came and she did garlands. I don't think I have that sincerity. I don't. So I really feel very undeserved that the deities even made their way home. And I ask for blessings from each one of you and prayers to help cultivate that sincerity that Vrajabhakti Mataji has when she has some other services. That's why she's not doing what she did before. And she's sitting here crying that she cannot do that service. And to one day have a drop of that sincerity. And I think perhaps that's the reason that these deities came home, for my purification and to help develop that sincerity. Yeah. I'm known to talk a lot. Krishna Swaram Prabhu, do you want to add something? I suck all the oxygen in the room usually. Okay. So thank you very much. Alankar Prabhu, did that answer your question?
Hari. By the way, you can share the name also of the head pujari, Mukunda Datta Prabhu.
Yes, his name is Mukunda Datta Prabhu. Yes.
And yeah, next time anybody goes to Vrindavan, make sure to meet with him. He does in his home every day Chaitanya Charitamrita classes. Every day, anybody can go. Just walk in. And he doesn't say no to anybody. And when you go, he will give something or the other, some maha, from the Radha Shyam Sundar deities.
Thank you very much. We'll start with the Aarti. And His Grace Gaur Shakti Prabhu is here. Thank you very much for coming. And please. Yes. Hare Krishna. Please, Prabhu, come to the living room and share a few words as well.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
Prabhu, please come.
I feel like a frog amongst swans here. Toad. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, if you really want to understand the Vrajabhakti spirit, it's right here. Right here. Hare Krishna.
What did I stumble into here? I thought I was just delivering some light fixtures.
Waiting?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know you were coming, but we were waiting.
Oh, okay. What is the occasion this evening?
Welcoming ceremony of Gaur Nitai deities.
Haribo. Whose house?
Krishna Swarnam.
Haribo. That's the correct answer. I live in Gaur house. So you just got your deities today, or what is the occasion?
We received them on Sunday at
Okay.
Vrindavan, and we had them installed in the Pran Pratishtha ceremony at ISKCON Vrindavan by His Grace Muktada Prabhu on Ashwada Ekadasi.
In Vrindavan? Haribo.
So they just came back from India day before yesterday.
All of you? The two of you and the two of them?
Yes.
Wow, yesterday, Haribo. Friday, okay. Yeah.
And we
Welcome
wanted
back.
And we wanted to thank you, and we want to be with the devotees and welcoming them to our home and celebrate with the devotees and get everyone's blessings.
See, this is the proper attitude. You're right here. You just, it's...
That's what we're all here to learn from.
I'm sorry?
That's what we're all here to learn from them.
Yes. No, you're setting a very nice example. Inviting Krishna into your home, understanding that it's not actually my home, it's Krishna's home, and he's so kind that he's allowing us to stay in his home with him, giving us the opportunity to serve him on a daily basis. But with the opportunity comes responsibility. And the last time I was in this area, there was another home program. Kraktu Prabhu and his wife were here. There was initiation, and also I believe Gornitai deities were being installed and or received. I don't recall specifically.
Cincinnati devotee, they installed.
Oh, okay.
And they brought it to the initiation ceremony.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And Kraktu Prabhu made a very nice statement, and Malati Prabhu also, appreciated it very much when he said that don't allow the worship of your Gornitai to interfere with worship of Shri Radhanath Bar. That their service needs to come first, and as convenience, so to speak, due to distance or other obligations or timings, whatever, so many things that we have going on in our lives. Worship your Gornitai deities at home, but do not neglect the temple deities. It's very important, because otherwise our preaching, our movement, our mission gets watered down. It gets diluted, and not in a nice way. And Srila Prabhupada, he didn't encourage devotees to have deities at home for two reasons. One, I just mentioned that it can distract from the temple worship, and also Srila Prabhupada wanted us to have proper standards for worshiping the deities, even at home. And he did not want that they're dolls or they're statues or whatever, and we can, do whatever we want whenever we want. Prabhupada did not approve of such attitude. So I'm very happy that you have deities, and you got them in Vrindavan.
Yes.
That's where I found. I didn't find them. They found me. When in the 90s, I was living in Mayapur, and when I decided that it's time to go back to the States, I thought I want to get a nice set of Gornitai deities, and so I went in Navadvip, and I went to all the different go-downs of the Murtiwalas. I think there was 3 at the time. And I unwrapped, they had them wrapped in newspaper, hundreds of pairs of Gornitai deities. And it looked like they came off of a factory production line. They were just totally uninspiring. And I just was not attracted to any of them. And it's a long story, but they found me, in Vrindavan. And you know, we got them, or they got us, and that was in 2000. And so it's there. Well, as I said earlier, we're in their home, and they're allowing us to stay for all these years, and we're very grateful. So take care of them. Remember that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His most munificent form. And don't forget that, because there's an expression which is very appropriate. Familiarity can breed contempt. And it's very easy when to just develop a mood of familiarity, and it can go downhill from there if you're not careful. So my humble request is that you are very careful and see them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serve them. And always remember your great good fortune to have bona fide spiritual master, to have all these Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis as friends and associates. Serve the devotees, serve the Supreme Lord, serve your spiritual master, and be happy. Hari Bol.
So, is Ramtirth Prabhu here? Prabhu, we can start Kirtan, Prabhu, and Sita Snari Mataji is going to start Aarti, so devotees can go to that place where the lordships are situated and offer flower abhishek.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Speak up.
Krishna cook చేయండి నేను వచ్చి తీసుకెళ్తాను మీకు సాటిస్ఫై నాకు మీరు అసలు కుక్ చేస్తే నచ్చనట్లుండాలి.
Hare Krishna. Please come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Maybe men this side, women can go that side.
It is too much.
ఈ కారం నాకు రాదమ్మా, నేను కృష్ణ కోసం want to do it, but it's not.
మేము వచ్చి తింటాం కదా మాతాజీ.
నేను అదే చెప్తున్నా, ఎవరు అనుకున్నారు
ఎవరు తింటాను మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళి పెట్టేది అది.
కమిట్మెంట్లో తీసుకోవద్దు.
జగమనలో అదే
Iba bosi ache gorachan Ratna simhasane Arati kore na Brahma Adi devagane Ibanara Hari Hari Kore Chamara Dulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Dosadidaya Iba Shanga Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatara Ganta Baje Baje Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Gaurange Arotika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Mana Loba Jaga Janamana Loba Jaga Janamana Loba Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jiva Bahu Koti Chandradini, Vadana Ujvala. Gana dese gana mala, kore jala mala. Iva siva sukha narara, eme radara. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Nakavara Radha Nakavara Radhe
Jaya Radha
Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jagannatha Swami Nayanapatagami Nayanapatagami Bhavatu me Jagannatha Swami Nayanapatagami Nayanapatagami Bhavatu me Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jagannatha Swami Jai Jagannath Jagannatha Swami Jai Jagannath Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Parameva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Sri Nitai Gaur Hare Srila Prabhupada ki
Namaste Narasimhaya
So prasadam is being served outside. So please help yourselves. It's in the.
So pray.